I'm Jason.
I'm Diggs.
I make software, music, and podcasts.
I connect people personally and professionally, and I like talking with Jason.
This is the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast.
5 conversations.
5 random topics.
5 minutes each.
When we hear this sound,
we move on to the next topic. Next.
On every episode, we invite a very special guest to join us. And our special guest on today's episode of 5x5, our special episode of 5x5.
Yes.
A special guest, the most special guest on the most special episode of 5x5 to date, Melody Leon. Welcome back to the program.
Hello. Thank you guys for having me again.
Because you are here, it means it's episode 60.
Mm-hmm.
Can I hear that? So bad. We're so bad.
Yeah, we should have practiced that.
We should have.
Should've.
It's episode 60 of 5x5, and if you've listened to the program, if you have gone back and historically studied this gift to the internet that we provide twice a month, you'll know that Melody was our very, very first guest and our 30th guest.
She took a chance on us.
And the voice of
Chance on me.
the voice of our pre-show intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
that's right.
I forgot about that.
I forgot too.
Right. So this is sort of like one of those moments, like when you hear the voiceover people, and one day you see them, like the people who played like Bart Simpson or whatever, and you finally see them like on the Howard Stern show, and you're just like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
can't the face. It doesn't like Casey
Yeah.
Kasem. I don't know if you guys remember Casey Kasem.
Vaguely.
No.
Casey Kasem was a radio guy back in the like 80s, 90s, and when you saw him, he did Scooby Doo voices.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was one of those original Scooby Doo guys,
Nice.
and it was just like, oh my God, that guy doesn't look like his voice.
I wonder, do I look like my voice?
I don't know. I think you do because I know you.
Tell us
she's
in
so
the
my
comments below.
Do I look like my voice?
if
guys?
you're watching?
I'm sorry, I completely hijacked your introduction. Could you tell us
No,
about
it's cool. I'm used to ADD. I could just bounce right back. So
Okay, this is going to be a crazy episode.
always.
Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay.
No, you point to that camera. Right there
Okay.
in the middle.
Fasten your seatbelts. All right. So my name is Melody. I'm here locally in Lancaster. I'm a member of the Candy Factory, and I own Makeup and Magick, which is a business in which I provide makeup services, but I also offer a little bit of magic, like personal development and self-care. And I just give people the tools to be their most beautiful selves inside and out.
That's beautiful in and of itself.
Thanks,
You
friend.
should just walk around saying that to people.
Yeah, right. Not even even if it doesn't go
No
with the
services
conversation.
on the other side of it. It's just not just walk around and say that.
Yeah, I'm going to help you be your most beautiful self.
You are a longtime member of the Candy Factory. We talk about the Candy Factory a lot during the introduction of these shows, and the question always comes to us: do we make candy?
No, but you guys often feed me candy. So
Yes.
it's like good enough, you know?
That's right. It's there's candy. It's like energy candy. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The Candy Factory is a co-working and social club located right here in the heart of downtown Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Community membership start at only $100. That's a membership that gets you in the door anytime the doors are open. Monday through Thursday, 8 to 6, Friday, 8 to 5, Saturday mornings, 9 to 12. Or you can have a full-time membership, which gets you a desk, 24/7 access, or an office membership, gets you your own private office. I mean, it's unbelievable. Too much to talk about during the introduction of this program. So go to coworkinginlancaster.com, click schedule a tour, check out all the membership details, come and see us. You can even tour this beautiful media studio, this facility.
Oh my God,
this
it's amazing.
This media facility on our co-working campus.
Yeah, that's what I be telling people, and I feel so special being a part of something called a campus.
Right. I know.
I'm like, no, we have the whole campus.
It's like 3 buildings.
Yeah.
If you're new to the program, here's how it works. I have an iPad. His name is Frank. He's sitting right here. He's going to dish up 5 random topics. We're going to talk about each one
Okay.
for 5 minutes. Hear a little jingle, move on. So
Sounds
if you don't,
good.
here's the thing. If you don't like the topic, by the time you figure that out, we're probably halfway through it.
Right. I feel like it's a good glimpse into a mind of ADHD.
It could be.
Yeah.
So it's a good way of putting it.
It feels good. It feels natural.
I'm going to work that into the elevator pitch going forward.
Go over it.
It's like audio ADHD.
Yeah, for sure.
This is episode 60.
60.
Are you guys ready?
I'm so ready.
Feeling good? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tap the button that says start a new episode,
All right.
and it says 60.
Look at that.
Here it is. Frank, what is the first topic of today's? It's a lot of words here. If you were an actor, what's your dream role? If you were an actor, what's your dream role? Let's go to Melody.
You know, life is but a stage. So technically, I am an actor on my stage, and every day is an opportunity to make my dream role whatever I want.
Are
So
you living your dream role right now?
I am definitely on my way, and I think that I've made a lot of changes, and I see it like right there. So it's dreamy enough that I feel like every day is a pretty good day, decently. I'm the creator of my own reality, and that feels awesome, but I'm not quite where I want to be just yet.
Right.
You know? But to answer the actual question, anything.
No, that was an answer. That was an answer. That counted.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
but don't go.
Anything witchy. Anything witchy.
Witchy,
Like if I was like a superhuman, like a Marvel character or something like that.
You would be
see.
like a witch.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or some type of superpower.
Witchy superpower
Oh, yeah,
kind
for
of.
sure.
So we're talking like I guess that fall into like sci-fi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe?
it could.
Or
it could
Disney.
It could be Disney.
Is that fantasy?
I was going to go fantasy, but then I think of medieval.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you said something because I was about to say, are you playing Sabrina now? Or let's just sorry, because you just said witch. So I just went,
Yeah. I haven't seen the recent episodes of Sabrina, so I don't know.
what?
Yeah.
What do you mean recent?
There's a whole new like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, like a whole new, and apparently like it's really dark. I don't know. My wife loves it, but I just couldn't get into it.
No, why?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go down this path of this
Okay.
reboot culture we have right now. But
I
can
just think is the original is what's her face? Sarah Joan Melissa Joan Hart. Is she in it or is it
No.
It's new people. Okay.
New people.
Sorry. Okay. Just
Yep.
needed to clarify that. And now you know too. Who or what would I want to be in?
Mm-hmm.
Diggs is in Hollywood. You're getting cast for your dream role. What is it?
Something Star Trek or like Battlestar Galactica.
You're straight sci-fi. You're on a ship
Yeah.
going through the galaxy.
I kind of want to be captain. Or just
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. You've got the
there's-
BDE.
There's no ensign
for
in this
for
guy.
character for captain.
I just
You
like
could totally be a
I
captain.
could maybe the thing is like seeing like Next Generation like I mean I don't remember its original run because I think I was 3 when it ended, but like seeing all the reruns of it, it was like look at Geordie LaForge, LeVar Burton being one. I couldn't get over the fact that I would see LeVar Burton as a blind like space engineer, and then on Reading Rainbow, it was just like what? I was like how does this work?
That just connected for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That hit me hard with first because I heard the voice and I'm like,
Wait a minute.
wait a minute, this is the same guy. Is this how
Yeah.
this works? But like you see the representation and you're like, I can do that, and it's like, no, I hate science. Technobabble, no. But then Cisco came along.
I was gonna
Captain
say,
Captain
yeah.
Cisco or Commander then Captain.
I was thinking thong song.
No, not yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This was the more how do I make this? There's no PC. What do I say? Anyway, so just the thespian Cisco. Let's put it that way. Since this,
Thespian.
he is such a thespian.
Yeah,
like,
no, yeah,
the actor.
absolutely.
But then seeing him as captain was like
There you go.
that.
Clicked.
Yeah, I could do that.
That's really I could see that. I was fortunate enough to be a grown up already when that show was on.
Mm.
So I completely missed the whole Geordie is also the Reading Rainbow guy because then by the time I had kids that was already kind of old and
Mm-hmm.
he was
He was just LeVar.
but you would totally go side. I could see that. I don't know what my dream role would be. I don't know where I'd go with it.
You know who you're looking like right now?
Who's that?
John Wick.
Who's John Wick?
Oh, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very
Keanu
much.
Reeves where he's like a total badass. Like he's like beating people up and like
Goddamn right.
yeah, you're fucking right. I love me some Keanu. John Wick was good. I couldn't see the last one though. The last one was like a little too violent. Like I'm very sensitive, so I can't see too much violence. Or
Oh,
gore.
okay.
I get like nightmares. But I could totally see John Wick on you right now.
I don't know what that is. I'm gonna look for it somewhere on the internet,
Yeah.
on the World Wide Web.
It's on the interwebs.
You'll see it.
And I'll see if I agree or not. But I've had a couple people when my kids were like I don't know in middle school or something. The length of my hair at the time and the beard, there was a Johnny Depp thing, and they would say oh your dad, and there was just this one role that he was because he's got to be a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
That's all because he was pretty young when he was kind of coming up through, and there was that. I don't know why I brought that up because that really has nothing to do with my dream role, but I remember a couple of the kids being like, your dad reminds me of Johnny Depp in this thing, and he always played some kind of interestingly weird stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I would. I don't know if those kids influenced my decision here on 5x5. Like if they knew 12 years from now you'd be on 5x5 and ask this question, so
Yeah.
we're just going to plant the Johnny Depp seed.
Yeah, it was the ultimate alley-oop, but just like way ahead
Yeah.
of time.
But I would definitely go with weird shit.
Yeah.
I like weird movies. I would either go probably like a dream role for me would be one of these kind of like really weird movies, like a David Lynchy kind of movie.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I don't know that.
Or a like Twin Peaks he did, and Blue Velvet, and some of these. And
What is that, Velvet?
or like a Quentin Tarantino, like Reservoir
Oh,
Dogs.
yeah. Oh,
Vincent
Reservoir
Vega
Dogs,
kind
classic.
of right. Like I would love to be like Mr. Purple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would be that guy. I would play in one of those and just be a.
I see it. I'd buy
That's my
tickets
dream.
to watch you.
Well, the end credits are rolling on topic number 1. It's time for topic number 2
Ba-dum-bum.
of this episode's 5x5, which is the 90s.
Oh.
The 90s.
We're just hitting all of them. Decades.
Yeah, the decades. In the last few episodes, we've talked about the tens.
Oh, we're going in order.
Well, no, we skip. Oh, yeah, we are. We're going backwards.
Yeah, that's great.
I think we talked about the 80s.
We
a long
talked the
time
80s.
ago.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, the 2010s. I was like, how am I supposed to talk about 1910s if you've ever did that?
Oh my God,
All we have to say is Titanic.
that's it.
That's it.
1990s for you.
1990s, I was a young whippersnapper. I was born in 83, so the 90s, I was still pretty young.
Okay. Oh, so coming of age in the 90s, though.
For sure.
83.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think what sticks out to me most about the 90s is like the music. I love 90s music. So that's just kind of what sticks out to me. That and overly plucked eyebrows. That's just what comes
That's
to
it.
my mind.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to let the eyebrow thing hang out there for a minute and go back
Yeah.
to the music.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted an explanation, but yeah, we can go back
Oh,
to
okay,
music.
you
No,
wanna-
no,
you
no,
wanna-
it's okay. No, let's go to music.
Is 90s music great?
I think that 90s music is great. I think that there's a time and a place for it because I think 90s music automatically makes you want to get down because it's that baby making stuff, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, so like that wouldn't always be the best in all circumstances, you
Right,
know?
right.
Like at a funeral.
Right, for sure. Right? You know, I don't know.
I
Just
just
to that.
I hear a lot of people talk about 90s music and in a lot of genres. And I've done a deep dive into the early 90s being kind of a golden era of music, which we won't get into here, but I've also heard a lot of people just refer to 90s music as this great time for different genres, right? Everything from rock, like the whole Nirvana movement, to the
Yeah.
hip hop that came out, to the R&B of the 90s, all this stuff, right?
And a lot of the crossover too. Like that was some of the first times that we saw like hip hop and like Aerosmith and Run DMC. Like, you know what I mean?
That kind of stuff became right. There was a lot of crossover. I'll even go so far as to say that country music had a renaissance from the 70s heyday in the 90s. Garth Brooks kind of started that. I wasn't a fan, but it existed, and I can acknowledge that.
Well, he finally got his Chevy working.
Is what?
Sorry,
Chevy?
the
Working?
Chevy broke down, the dog died, whatever.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
whatever.
just keep on.
Yeah, we're moving on. Anyway, I'm not sure if 90s music is actually awesome.
Oh, I see. Or if we were just
Or if it's because like 80s music is nostalgic, but I think that collectively there are some great moments in 80s music. But I think that there's also a lot of kind of throwaway pop songs in the 80s. Here comes the hate mail. I'm sorry.
bring
I'm
on the
sorry.
synth. I was just gonna say bring on the synth. They told me to.
But you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of depth. I mean, you had things like hair metal that was just and those bands were huge in the 80s. And you look back at it and you just kind of go, it's pretty plastic and stuff. Yeah, it just kind of wasn't a lot there. But was 90s music awesome?
You know, my initial answer was yes, but you've got me thinking.
I want to know
Well-
in 10 years if we're going to be saying the same thing about the aughts or the teens. Yeah,
Maybe from an indie perspective,
possibly.
because there's been a lot of good indie stuff in the aughts and teens. But see, my problem is like I remember hearing a lot of it, but we recently talked about like music in 2000 came up, so I really didn't pay attention to any of it until like 2000 and onward. Otherwise, it was just a lot of songs that sounded good. Like probably a whole bunch of songs that I know the words to that I couldn't tell you who did it
Yeah.
or what the name of the song was just because it was on the radio. But yeah, I don't know. It was. I mean, I'm trying to think back to things like In Vogue and like
Yeah.
I don't know, like the earliest Destiny's Child and like
Yes.
There was a lot of-
TLC.
yeah,
et cetera, et cetera. Like,
a
all
lot of
it
great
was just,
music.
Red
like-
Light Special. How
Yeah.
you doing, TLC? And they were all so pretty. I should have known that I was gay then. You know,
You were
like,
just hot on TLC. You were just like,
oh yeah, like it took a while for me to realize, like, she's pretty, she's a star. Like, no, I actually want to sleep with her.
Right, right.
like, but at that age, I didn't know that yet. But I should have known when Red Light Special came out
you were
that
just
that's
you were
not
all
how
in.
all little girls look at other girls. You know, you live, you learn.
If there's one music aside, if there's one thing from the 90s that you kind of take away, like
That
one
I remember?
yeah, an event or a thing that you enjoy doing, or
Well, I mean, that was the. I mean, just because of when it was when I was born. That's when my love of trains started.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, cool.
Because that's when we started doing our, like, not started. The reunions happened before I existed, but I started going to them because I was born.
Diggs appeared.
I came to be, and then all of a sudden the reunion started.
Yeah.
They all wanted to meet me now. But we would travel by train a lot, so that's
So you would remember. Yeah, that's a great memory.
yeah. Those old, like, especially actually, I would always get excited because I knew it was the one time I could have coffee, like a whole coffee to myself, usually
Right.
decaf. But I loved that smell of coffee. Like, I didn't really like. I'd always like bum a sip off of mom, like on the way to school. But then, like, I would get my own coffee in the lovely little china they had on Amtrak with, like, the full service, like,
Yeah.
linen
Aw.
and the like the actual, like, plate and, like, silver, and which of course isn't really a thing anymore. But it was just special.
Aw,
Right.
Because
it sounds special.
Yeah, as long as my grandfather and I would. Like, sometimes if the others woke up, but it was usually the two of us would go to get breakfast, and then the rest of them would go whenever they felt like it. And it was our little thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It is really sweet.
So trains and Amtrak and TLC.
Yeah, that's the '90s.
Basically.
Clinton for me.
Yeah.
I was in my 20s and just starting to pay attention to, you know, to politics and to news and stuff like that. And that was just a shit show.
Who's Clinton? I'm joking. Just joking. No, I remember.
Well, Y2K is upon us, and it is no longer the 90s. It's time for topic number 3, which is brunch.
Ooh.
Brunch. Are you a fan of brunch?
I'm a fan of food at any time.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that how I got this voluptuous.
You're just a food fan?
I love food.
Yeah.
I do. I love food. Brunch is okay. I think brunch is good, you know, for the days that, you know, maybe you didn't wake up so hungry, but like you don't want to wait till lunch. I think it was a great idea.
He has a fantastic
Yeah,
idea.
I think whoever did that. Was,
Yeah, that's just lazy.
Yeah.
It's just lazy breakfast, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's Sunday morning. That's the whole thing, right? You sleep in,
Yep.
and all of a sudden it's like it's not quite lunch, but you want to eat a lot
Yep.
because you've
Yeah.
been, you know, you haven't eaten since dinner the night
Yeah.
before.
Maybe you're hungover.
Maybe, yeah, likely.
Most usually that was the case for me.
Diggs, brunch fan.
Yes, but I've had arguments with my friends about this. I used to say it was 12 and onwards. I've gotten okay with it being 11 and onwards, but no more. If you ask me to brunch and it starts at 10:30, that's not brunch.
That's not brunch. It's breakfast.
That's just.
I
no.
agree.
I don't get it. Why? Why? Sleep.
Yeah, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is brunch.
11 and then afterwards, that's fine. What I wish. I actually like the whole like bottomless mimosa thing. Once that became a thing, that gets dangerous. Like if you are somebody that drinks, so I don't necessarily need that. I mean, I don't need it anymore. There was a time I really wanted it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right.
That's why I don't drink now.
That you got it all
Because
out.
you swam to the bottom of the bottomless
For real.
mimosas.
For
Fair,
real.
but like a good omelet, man. Especially if a place that does it right. Annie Bailey's used to have a place here in Lancaster. I haven't been in a long time, so I'm not going to say like they don't have a good brunch anymore. But that used to be like my jam. It was like maybe like $10, $11 omelet, and then their mimosas were like $3 a pop, and they'd let me do grapefruit. That's my favorite because I don't really like. I don't know. I've never. Orange
Not
is
an
too
orange
sweet.
fan?
I
Not an
like
orange juice
orange.
fan?
I love orange juice, but I don't know. I just felt like it was too. If I'm gonna get the juice, I still want the tang. I want more tang than sweet.
Right.
But that's just me.
I find it really interesting how brunch became like its own meal,
Mm-hmm.
and how it's typically associated with like a Sunday morning. Like it became. Do you still do lunch on Sunday? If you do brunch, do you do a late lunch? You don't.
No, you just brunch to dinner.
Brunch straight to like almost like an early dinner.
Yeah.
Sunday really screws everybody up. Like, you know, as I'm trying to become healthy, I spent a good part of my. Speaking of the '90s, I was a poster child for just unhealth, like
You
the
and I
anti-health. I don't think I ate a piece of fruit in the 1990s.
Yeah.
I don't even think I had a piece of fruit. Everything was fried.
Yeah.
I lived in Nashville, Tennessee, and everything was just deep fried. And you could, they say tastes like chicken. You're like, oh, frog, what's frog taste like? Tastes like chicken. What's gator taste like? Tastes like chicken. Mm-hmm. That's because chicken tasted like breading, and it was
and
deep
oil.
fried.
Yeah. Right.
It was just a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Like for the breading, it doesn't matter what the meat is.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's just it's sort of like butter and salt.
Yeah.
It's like popcorn is really just a vehicle for butter and salt.
It just makes everything taste better, though. I've had all types of like fried everything. I found it interesting. Like, what did it have to go through? What was the evolution of brunch? Like, how common did it have to become for it to become its own meal? Was it like a general consensus that needed to become to?
It's actually a great question.
You know, and then not only like who came up with it, like was it an accident? Was somebody like, I want lunch?
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, you know what? No, I want something in the middle. Let's call it brunch.
So I jokingly say lupper, right, when I'm doing when I do a 3 o'clock. I'm trying to bring it on, right? I'm trying to just find these middle meals here.
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
I don't know. Lupper sounds better than Linner.
I do like lupper better.
Yeah, lupper. It feels, I don't know, Irish.
It does feel Irish.
Doesn't it?
It does feel Irish.
So
It does.
we apparently can blame. Let's try that again. Blame the Brits for this in the late 19th century.
I'm happy blaming the Brits for this.
And apparently it became popular here in the 30s.
It became popular in the United States. It goes that far back.
Yeah, I thought this was like.
You know, Americans are a little slow.
Well, we are, but I just expected this thing to be like a 70s thing or a 60s thing.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure.
You know what I mean?
Or maybe even an 80s thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
the
the
height of some a lot of drugs in the 80s.
It's just like, oh man, I don't want to do what am I gonna do? Oh, let's just get brunch. Like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like
almost
seems
like a
the
joke, like a Saturday Night Live skit or something, and all of a sudden it's a thing, right? Doesn't it feel like that?
That was the vibe I was going for.
Yeah.
It reminds me too of like like happy hour.
Well, yeah, but then when's happy hour?
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah.
That's a debate.
It depends on what age I was when you asked that question. At this point, there is no happy hour that involves alcohol, but happy hour was as soon as my happy ass woke up when I was drinking, that was happy hour. You know?
Hair of the dog. That's like, it's just drink the hangover away.
That's obviously that's a structured, logical process when you drink too much the night before.
It's brunch and happy hour are the same thing. It's just a synonym, really. For those of us.
One has food.
Right.
Just a liquid happy hour is all brunch was.
Right.
Unless you eat all the accoutrement in your Bloody Mary.
I don't know what accoutrement is.
The stuff, the food.
Well, we're moving on to the next meal, or as we like to say here, topic number 4 of this episode's 5 by 5.
4 already?
This is topic number 4.
Jeez.
And the topic number 4 of this episode 5 by 5 is. I lost my ability to speak.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Syrup.
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 Speaking of food.
Or syrup. Syrup is the way I pronounce it. Syrup. Are you a fan of syrup?
Are you referring to the food syrup or the drugs?
Well, I don't know about this. I don't know about this drug called syrup.
Me neither. I never did it, but it's a thing, and I just figured it'd be something funny to say. Syrup foods.
Let's talk about syrup foods. Then I want to circle back to the drug.
Yeah, that's a new one to me. But yes, food first.
So I love syrup. Not all syrups are created equal. I prefer like a Aunt Jemima, Mrs. Butterworth's, something a little richer and thicker and fuller. But I do actually really love syrup. And I like to cook with syrup too. Like certain things I'll cook with syrup, yeah. Like if I want to sweeten up, like if I'm making like sweet potatoes or, I mean, I'm not by any means up to a chef or anything like that, but sometimes that, or sometimes my wife likes our baked beans like really sweet and she likes the way it tastes with syrup, so I'll put syrup in the baked beans.
I've heard of this with the maple syrup and the baked
so
beans.
Good.
Yeah, no, I've heard of this.
It's really good, yeah.
But I feel like I still want molasses just because I like the thickness.
Yeah.
Ugh, words.
I bought my first bottle of molasses in the last couple months, and I used it in place of syrup once when I was making my sweet potatoes, and it was good.
Yeah, molasses and brown sugar.
Okay. Do you put syrup on pancakes?
Oh yeah.
And waffles?
Yep. French toast.
Chicken and waffles.
Keep going.
Now, tell me the difference between what we know of as syrup, like log cabin, and the people like in Vermont or whatever who are like tapping like the true maples.
They just go straight from the sap. So it's like, I mean, that stuff is good
because there's a whole purist culture around this, right?
Yeah, and
what?
Yeah, this is a thing.
Yeah,
and it's like a cartel or something up there. There's like a syrup cartel.
There's a syrup cartel.
I'm not kidding you.
And like
you.
the southern end of Canada, yeah. No, it's a big. It's a big.
Oh, it's a big deal.
Tapping the maple trees and they set up like traps to make sure that people don't like take the sap that they're not supposed to have. Like it's a. I meant sorry when I say traps, I mean like the video traps to catch. Not
like bear traps.
Not like a bear trap. Sorry.
Right.
You have this.
It
You
just
have
got real
this,
colorful in my brain.
Yeah,
We
this-
told you.
you have this like
We
syrup.
warned you once, and now look what you made us do to you.
There's a syrup robber with his legs
Oh,
stuck in the
God.
trap. He's
Yep. I still got it.
trying to crawl
Still
away.
need my fix. But yeah, no. So like
It's not a bad profession, by the way. Syrup robber.
syrup
Yeah.
robber. Yeah,
You can make some
sounds
money.
Like the Hamburglar.
sounds like a name. Yes. That's what Aunt Jemima needs to go with. The syrup robber.
Oh, that could get sticky.
Oh, so good.
Love
So
it.
good. But yeah, so the straight from the tree, it's just runny because it's literally just sap. But it is good. I'm not gonna like. Don't need to add anything to it. Don't need to add sugar. Nothing. It's just.
Really?
Oh yeah, it is. It's real good. Except if you're. I don't know. I like the thicker syrup, even though I know it's got preservatives and it's not fully natural. Blah blah blah.
Okay,
whatever.
I see where you're going with this. So the thicker syrup is what we
It's store bought.
is the store bought
Aunt
sort of
Jemima, yada, yada.
manufactured. Yeah. So like, right. And the pure maple syrup.
It's just sap. It's just literally, and it like and maybe that's my issue with it is that I can't pour it. Like I need.
Oh, really?
You gotta like scoop it out or
No,
something.
no.
Oh no, it's really running.
It's just too
It's-
runny. So then
too
it's
runny.
just like I'm swimming in syrup, and that's not good either. It just
The visual I just had of you swimming in
You know,
syrup.
I'm not gonna lie.
You
I
went
did
there.
too. I did go
Yeah.
there, and
like
then
like Scrooge McDuck and the gold.
yeah, no, mine got a little more less PG.
Yeah.
I was like-
She got weird.
Oh.
Yeah, it always gets weird.
got-
I always get weird.
Is it freaky? Is that the
It
word?
always goes to food or sex in my brain. Like I just, like
or both in this
And
case.
then you
It was-
just-
exactly,
Fine.
exactly.
That's fair.
But the less preservative syrups, like the organic syrups, like in the fancy bottles, it's
Yeah.
like you got to take out a fucking loan to
Yeah,
buy
but-
that syrup
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's so expensive.
No,
like I have to make life decisions about how I can pay bills if I want that syrup.
It's a new credit line.
Absolutely. I'm not a fan. I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of syrup because I just literally had waffles 2 days ago at a bed and breakfast and they had a little cup of syrup. It's one of those. Here's where I'm at with syrup,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know why I go to this place with certain food.
It's okay.
Um,
Let it out.
I would Thanks. I really need this.
It's a safe space.
Thanks. I need this moment. I would never go into the store by myself and buy a bottle of syrup for the pantry, nor would I go home at any point and like make a pancake myself. Like if
I love pancakes.
but you get what I'm saying? Like I just wouldn't think
No.
I wouldn't think to do that.
Really?
And I would never go into a restaurant and order pancakes for breakfast and like put syrup on it and like that be
I
a
love
thing.
It. I love it.
Okay, but that is not to say I don't like it.
This shit's not top of mind.
And when it's served to me, I enjoy it. So like let's just say I was at a bed and breakfast and there was no choice.
Yeah.
Like it was like the meal is eggs and these homemade waffles and syrup and some orange juice or something. And I was like, oh, okay. And they served it to me and I enjoyed it. Or like if I go to say my brother's, who's a great cook, and I go downstairs in the morning and he's just like, yeah, cooking some pancakes and here it is. I will enjoy it, but I wouldn't do it intentionally. Isn't that weird?
It's all right. I personally want every bite of my pancake to be scooped up with some syrup. I want to taste the syrup
wanna-
in the pancake batter. Yes.
You got to try the pancake at Commonwealth Kitchen real quick.
Oh, yeah?
Toss it out there. Yeah.
Try the pancakes.
Pancake. No, seriously, just one.
Just a single pancake bigger than your head. The syrup bottle, my friends, has run dry. It is time for time for topic number 5 in this episode's 5x5. Topic 5 on 5x5: department stores.
Ooh, R.I.P.
Department stores. Yeah, going away.
They're going away.
They are.
There's a few left.
Yeah. It's becoming more of an online thing now. Like as far as like if you want to have that department store experience, that's becoming more few and far between. Like I was a freelance makeup artist for years, so I worked primarily out of department stores.
Oh, is that right? How does that
yeah.
work?
So there's different ways to do it. You can either, as a freelancer, I was hired through like the company, like the
Like
the main
JCPenney
company.
or something?
No, so like I used to work out of Bonton, and then I worked for Lancome and Estee Lauder. So
Oh, the manufacturer.
yeah, sorry. And then so when I work as a freelancer, then I would just go. I would visit like throughout the tri-state areas. I would do like the different counters rather than just be at one counter all the time.
Yeah.
And then I would do things like either go there for promotions when they were like releasing a
Yeah.
new product, or if they had like makeover days, or I would like teach their like they would like have a group group of people that needed to have learned how to do their like stuff from their makeup bag. So I traveled all across the tri-state area doing makeup in department stores.
And all
for
these
years.
department stores.
It's fun.
That's pretty interesting. Like I never would have thought. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny how you pull the curtain back on the mechanics of some of this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have thunk it?
right. It's sort of like it's sort of like in the grocery store, like in Giant, when you go in and it's the soda guy.
Oh, I was.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was about to
No,
say
I'm not talking about Marty.
Marty. Fucking Marty.
I don't know, Marty.
He's
Go
the
ahead.
robot in Giant. The robot.
He's so obnoxious.
See, it's
But,
universal.
no, but listen, do you know that I am that crazy person that I'll be like,
Yeah.
can you move right to the robot?
No, I.
Oh, you and Adriana need to. This is an episode with Adriana Tencia where we originally talked about this. You you two should have a conversation.
I just got triggered. I literally just got triggered.
You were like, I don't know what Marty is, but it's like, I'm going to
It's
tell you
like,
what Marty is.
fuck Marty.
The reason he has the oogly eyes was a woman in Mechanicsburg, Chambersburg. It was some giant worker near here. It's her fault. Anyway, continue.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm,
thank God department stores didn't have robots that would go around. What department store do you remember as a kid that you would go to?
Oh Lord. Well, speaking of Lord and Taylor.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Macy's.
Yes.
All the time.
The big one,
The big one in the middle of the Madison. Well, I mean, it's near Madison Square Garden. So
I was gonna say,
it's
isn't it-
Herald Square. Is the actual
like a block away or something.
Yeah, it's like not even. I guess technically 2 blocks away. But it was like we would kind of bounce between the two. I think I fairly certain Mom liked Lord and Taylor more, but more for coats if I remember right. And I mean there was there's a Sears and I guess that's southwest Brooklyn that like my grandfather preferred. So like if I was with him and he needed to go to a store, we would go to that one. Yeah, it would. But beyond that, that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, we didn't really do sometimes Saks just because go see the fancy stuff.
Right.
Oh, so you grew up, you had a couple dollars. We couldn't afford that.
No,
we
no,
didn't do
no,
department
no,
stores
no,
when
no.
I was little.
It was cheap to get there. It didn't mean you were buying anything.
Yeah, right.
You were window shopping.
Oh yeah. Well, no, Mom would buy. She would like save up and get like. She was big on like quality coats.
Yeah.
So she always wanted to have like coats that would last. So
Right.
whether it was from Land's End or Lord & Taylor or Macy's sometimes. Yeah. So that was the big thing for her, and a purse. She wanted a purse that would last
Aw.
too.
Yeah.
So that was the big.
Where did you go? Do you remember department store as a kid?
No.
You just
We didn't.
We didn't go.
We grew up really poor. So I grew up in Coney Island, which is like the ghetto part of the hood of Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
So like the people that were in the hood of Brooklyn were like, don't go down to Coney Island. That's real ghetto.
Also,
so,
it was so damn far. It was such a hike.
So it was an island. So in order to go to department stores, there was like a lot of traveling. And
Right.
we grew up very poor. So that was not a part of my experience as a child. But then when we moved here, it was like, middle school, about to go into high school. That's when I remember going to my first department store.
Like going to Park City Mall.
Yeah.
For those of you in our global audience, Park City is our local shopping mall, like the built in the 70s or 60s or
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah.
The big cement mall.
Yeah. So that was when I first went.
Those things are
I
all
thought
going to.
you were about to say cement mixer for some
Yeah,
reason.
our big cement mixer.
I'm sorry.
Those are all going away. And that's the thing about it, right? Was in that era, right? So I was a kid in the 70s, and they were all shiny. These malls were just like these big, like mystical places, and you'd go in, and especially Western Pennsylvania is cold. Winters were long and cold, a lot of snow, and you would go into the mall, which was different from I remember there was a Hills. Hills was not in the mall. It was like
It's
like a pre-Walmart or
Yeah.
a Walmart-y kind
we
of
had
store.
one of those in Lancaster too.
Yeah, like a Hills, and those were outdoor. Like you would park and walk into the store and then come back out. So going to the shopping mall was a big deal in the winter because you could take your coat off, leave it in the car, go in and just hang out all day, and it was
Yeah.
and all these different things. So it was pretty cool.
Have you been to Mall of America by chance?
Never been there,
Minneapolis.
no.
Holy shit! Seriously,
Yeah?
you want to talk about but it makes sense because Minneapolis is frozen 9
There
months
you
of the
go.
year. Well,
Yeah.
that's exaggerating.
Maybe some hyperbole
Might
there.
be some hyperbole, but it's literally everything you could there's an amusement park. There's
Right.
just a regular. Oh yeah,
What's that
it's
food
the biggest
court
one
looking
ever.
like?
massive.
The food court is
everything
amazing.
is just ridiculous in there, but kind of because it needs to be.
Yeah.
Well, our store hours have just run out. It's
You're so quick with it.
we're closing the metal gate.
Yep.
We're closing down the metal gate. out in front of this episode of 5x5.
We setting the alarm.
I can't believe how fast that went.
Yeah.
That was the fastest 25 minutes of podcasting.
Ding.
It just it's like it's getting faster every time.
I don't like it.
I think the way that works is my age. As I age, my brain slows down, which makes everything seem faster.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Imagine how like elderly people feel then.
Oh, it zips. And they say that. They say the older you get, the faster it moves. Well, I'm telling you, it's just like flying. It's blurry.
Oh,
And then you throw a pandemic or two in there.
Lord.
That'll help it. That'll do it.
Yep.
I don't know why the pandemic screwed up time so bad.
It did though. Like we went through a portal.
Yeah, what year is it?
I don't even know. Are you still doing that? Like,
Oh,
last
yeah.
year I went to, and you find out it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, yes.
Everything is the other day for me. Like that's literally my entire life. Like the other day. That's what I call everything. The other day.
That's a fair.
This was almost a 6x6.
I was thinking that. That's so funny. You just plucked that out of my head. I was like, you're gonna have to start making the 6x6.
It's been such a pleasure to have you back on the program.
It has been a pleasure to spend time with you guys again.
And could you say for me, just say this podcast may contain adult language and themes. Just say that.
Okay. Wait, what was it again?
This podcast may contain adult language and themes.
All right. This podcast may contain adult language and themes.
Oh my God, it's so cool.
It's like a flashback.
It's like I hear it every time, but just to see you do it live, it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like when when the boss went and toured again.
Yep.
When I don't get it.
Well, it's like when an old band. It's like if TLC toured. Well, they couldn't do that
Well,
because of Left Eye.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
TNC.
You're so thoughtful. So sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry.
Like when Beyonce got back up on stage. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I don't think she ever left. She's been ruling that stage for decades.
Truth.
Who the hell hasn't toured in a long time? The Stones. No, they keep touring too.
They keep. No.
Anyway, forget about it. Thank you, Melody, for coming back on the
Thank you for
program.
having
We'll
me,
see you in
guys.
30 episodes.
Yes.
I'll see you next time.
Yep.
Well, I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Well.
Should we break the news to our fans?
We should probably tell them.
Our 6 fans, including my mom.
Yeah.
So since episode 31, we have been video. This was an audio podcast for the first 30 episodes, and on episode 31, we switched over to video after the COVID stuff hit, and we were doing it virtually.
Yep.
We are going back to an audio-only format.
Yep.
So starting next episode, you're the last video episode.
You saved the best for last.
But you were the last audio episode before we went video.
No,
Yep.
really?
Yeah.
You keep hitting them. We're gonna have to go.
Something's going to happen.
Have to go meta for. No, we're not doing that.
We're going to do a VR episode starting at 91. You'll be our last audio again.
Okay.
I don't know.
There we go.
math-
No, we'll figure it out.
Holograms. Watch. It's coming up soon.
That's it.
Holograms on 5x5.
That's it.
My head hurts. So anyway, it's been a good run of video episodes. We're going back to the audio-only format. So you can check us out on places like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. I think we're on Spotify, but I don't know. There's a whole Joe Rogan thing that's going on there, so there may be a boycott.
I still listen to Spotify. So.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out next time.
That's true.
when we catch you next time on 5 by 5.
The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is produced at So Good Media Studio at the Candy Factory.
A co-working and social club located in downtown Lancaster, PA.
The show is hosted by Jason Mundock and Robert Diggs, with music by John Chin.
Yeah. He's a really cool guy.
Follow us on the socials at So Good Lancaster.
Find 5x5 and all of our shows at sogoodlancaster.com.
So good.
Lancaster!